Well, hello, hello, hello. Praise the Lord. Good morning. Good morning to all you beautiful people out there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It is the summertime. And the weather is so fine. Oh, my goodness. I love it. I love it. Gets too hot some days. But you know, we're here in the Bay Area and we get that nice morning fog now. Thank you. You know, I like the offshore breezes, it's okay. But then it gets too hot. So give us a light fog, a little fog in the morning. Then we can get a little bit of heat in the afternoon. I'll go for that. That's our norm. And we've got it back. It's beautiful. The weather has been fantastic. This is the kind of weather you want to get outside in. Get outside in the sunshine. Okay. Now, a lot of you say, well, yeah, okay, I'll get out in the sunshine, but I got to get my sunscreen. Got to cover up a little bit. I don't want to get burned. We have got a problem here in these United States with covering up our skin. Now, I never thought that I'd say this, but after what I've been through lately, I think the nudists have really got something going on right. Okay? Now, we can't all go running around with everything flopping in the wind, in the breeze. It just won't work that way, not in this society. It just won't work. But we need to get out in the sun without sunscreen, at least a little bit. And I know it sounds crazy, right? All this money we spend and all the advertisements that's spent for sunscreen and protecting yourself against the UV rays and skin cancer. Yeah, there's a lot of skin cancer. But a lot of that skin cancer is from people who are baking in the sun. They're out there in it too long. They fry. Okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people that need to be in the sun. Go out and work in the yard. No, don't cover up all your arms. Unless you're picking string beans and have to deal with all the fuzz that comes off the leaves. Yeah, then you want to cover up everything because it itches like crazy. But otherwise, no. We need to have our skin exposed to the sun. Now, let me tell you why. I know you all know we need a little vitamin D. But do you know that we have a vitamin D deficiency crisis here in America? Because everybody's wearing layers of clothes, even wear UV protection clothes, so no ultraviolet rays get through to the skin. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Where does the vitamin D come from? There's certain vitamin Ds that can only be produced by your body. Okay? And what is vitamin D? What is it for? It's a vitamin that you must have in order for your body to be able to use calcium. And, if you don't have vitamin D and calcium combined, you can forget about having bone health or heart health. Your veins are not going to be healthy. They're not going to work for you either. Exhaustion. Do you know that if you're totally exhausted and you're taking all kind of things to energize and you're still tired, then it may be because you have a vitamin D deficiency. Now, I try to be healthy. I'm a vegan now, for a year and a half. And I try really hard to stay on top of the proper diet. Okay? And I think I do a pretty good job. So, but just to check things, I asked my doctor to run a panel on all my vitamins and minerals to see how I'm doing. Okay? And she did. Do you know everything was outstanding? Everything is wonderful. I'm doing a great job. So I'm just proud of myself. Except for my vitamin D. Okay. Now, I already have osteoporosis, okay? And that's because I was on 5 years of dialysis before I had my kidney transplant. And during that time, my body was deprived of vitamin D and calcium because your kidneys produce the instructions and the hormones, along with your pituitary gland and your what is it, your parathyroid. All of these organs, all of these, things work together to produce what you need for your blood and your bones and your cells to be healthy. And one of the big things you don't get is vitamin D and calcium. You got to have vitamin D to break down the calcium for your body to be able to use it. And you have to have a little fat in your system too. So let me tell you something. My vitamin D was almost zero. Okay? It was almost nothing. And I don't take supplements, at least I need to. From time to time I did, but I'm lazy, so I don't do it all the time. I'm not consistent. But I need to be obsessive because I'm over 70, okay? And I'm saying this for you guys out there to listen because I might be talking about you too. And if you haven't had a recent check on your blood to find out what's happening with your vitamin D, that might be where your problems are coming from with joint pain. We talk about arthritis, but the pain sometimes is generated from a vitamin D deficiency. Okay? So, what else does it cause? I mean, it can cause gum disease. Oh boy. Okay, have you been flossing and doing all you can to take care of your gums and your teeth, but yet and still your gums are still giving you a bad time? Could be a vitamin D deficiency. It's really, we don't think about these things, and nobody teaches us about these things. They say, well, you need vitamin D, you need this, you need that. Commercials, commercials, commercials. Buy our brand, buy our brand, buy our brand. But what are you getting? And what is it doing for you? So let's talk. Here. Let me go with some of these things. I've got this printout from a website that I thought was excellent. I went through several websites, and a lot of the information was the same. But this website here I thought was very good, and it's called Global Healing Center. Okay, globalhealingcenter.com. Okay, and this. I enjoyed the way they put this article together. It was written by Dr. Edward Group. Okay, so he's the founder, and it was written by him and reviewed by another person here. I won't go into all that, but he talks about, and let me go into some of these things he talks about. And I want you to pull this up. Please pull this website up. There's so much in here that you need to know. This is critical. Teach your children. Teach your friends. The next time you get together over tea, a gathering at the church, sitting around with your friends, share this information. Because this is so much, people, we don't know these things. We don't talk about these. We all know we need vitamin D, right? We all know that. But do you know some of the symptoms of a vitamin D deficiency? Okay, let me go and find out. Let me see. Let me find some. Remedies. Oh, he got the remedies. Okay, it breaks down the causes of vitamin D deficiency, and it goes into some of the foods that you need to supplement. Now, there are no vegetables that provide vitamin D. Vitamin D is produced, it's one of those things that's produced inside your body by the sun. When you that's why the sun is critical. You've got to have sunlight. If you want your heart to be healthy, you need the sunlight. You want your brain to be healthy? Dementia? You need the sunlight. I'm not kidding. It causes memory issues. It causes a lot of problems we don't attribute to vitamin D deficiency. It's so simple. Now, people who eat a lot of fish are going to get a lot of vitamin D because you find vitamin D in the fish. And there's all different kind of fish. There are no vegetables that provide vitamin D. So vegans, you're in trouble, right? We're in trouble, right? That's why it's so critical for us to stay on top of that. So we have to go for fortification. We have to get, but where is the vitamin D supplements? Where are they coming from? I don't know about you, but I haven't found any. The only vegan vitamin D that I have found so far, and there's probably some out there, is from mushrooms. So mushrooms, mushrooms, mushrooms. Eat a lot of mushrooms. I mean, put them in everything. And there's thousands of different kinds of mushrooms that you can consume. Okay, not thousands, but hundreds. Okay, to choose from. All kind of wonderful. And the wild ones actually have more vitamin D than those that are created commercially. And some more than others, whatever. But mushrooms, that's the way you gotta go. Okay, we're talking about issues that happen when you have vitamin D deficiency. Here's one for you that I bet you did not even think about associating with vitamin D. Okay? Bladder infections. Yeah. Yeah. And what does Granny say? Ha! How many bladder infections have I been complaining about? Right. And I have what? Vitamin D deficiency. 3/4 of my, I think it was 3/4 or 2/3 of my parathyroid, not my parathyroid, yeah, 2/3 of my parathyroid were removed when they removed my thyroid, okay? And it was because it was malfunctioning totally, and it had enlarged to the point where it had to be removed. And that's one of the other things that helps to function with the vitamin D. Okay, you need that for your body to convert the sun into vitamin D. All right, so it's a wonder that I have osteoporosis and my fingernails are getting splintery and and I'm not taking supplements. But what are the supplements? Fish oils. Okay, so if you're vegan, the only way you're going to find your vegan supplements is to deal with things that are coming out of mushrooms or artificially derived. So what are we supposed to do? Aside from, let me tell you some of the foods that have the vitamin D naturally. And that's tuna, and you know all the stuff that comes with the tuna. Mercury, mackerel, salmon, sardines, cheese, eggs, milk, all the things that vegans don't consume. Okay? So it's in animals, in fish. Some beef has small amounts. Okay, and organs. They're in organs like liver and, oh, gross me out. Okay, but more power to you who love it. The thought of it just makes me sick. I could not stand liver when I was a kid. Oh my goodness. It was just like out of World War II, people knew the value of consuming the liver, and they were just, actually World War I they were doing it too. But liver, liver, liver. And of course, people didn't throw away parts of the body of the animals when they would slaughter the animal. They would use everything, But vegans don't do animals, and they don't do animal products. But I tell you, all the time I tell you, I am not going to self-destruct over an idea of avoiding certain foods. I'm not going to starve to death, and I'm not going to poison myself or kill myself over it either. So if I have to take fish oils, I'll pray to God that they're clean. For clean fish, and I don't know where you're going to find that. The waters are so polluted, I used to love fish, but oh my goodness, you could even taste the pollution in them. It was so bad. And I don't care where you get them from. Everybody said get salmon from Alaska. yuck, yuck, yuck. Alaska's waters were so polluted, all the oil spills and trash and everything that's been going on. You know what? I don't know. Iceland still has good clean fish, but I can't go up to Iceland and I sure can't afford to have it shipped in on a regular basis. So I don't consume fish. But yeah, we've got to work on this. We've got to have the supplements. This is why I complain so much about prisoners, people who are in prison. Do you know how their body is deteriorating just from being out of the sun? I mean, yeah, they can have access to going out in the sun. Some of them. Most of them have opportunity if they're in general population. But think about the people in the hole. People get locked up where they don't have any sun at all. Okay? So is that cruel and unusual punishment? Yes. Because that can kill them. And it kills them slowly by disintegrating their organs, starving their organs of critical vitamin D. And then you wonder why they're sick. You get old people who are in the home all the time, constantly getting bladder infections, getting brain fog. Are you in the house all the time? I mean, this United States, we're house dwellers. We're inside the buildings. We go outside, we cover everything up. We put sunscreen on everything. Avoid the sun. You better get some of that sun, because vitamin D3 can only be produced by the sun. And that's a very critical vitamin D in your body. There's vitamin D2 and vitamin D12. There's a lot of vitamin Ds. But the only way you can get vitamin D3, which is a critical vitamin D, is from the sun. So come on, you guys. Do what's right for you, not what the commercial says, not what anybody says. I don't care what government agency. We don't know who's in their back pocket. We don't know what's going on with these people and the decisions they make. Do what you know is right for you and for your family. If you don't want to be sick, get your sun exposure. It's mandatory for human health. You got to have exposure to the sun. So don't always put on that sunscreen. Go out there and get you a little bit of that sun. Just don't get out there and cook in it. My husband, he used to take baby oil and rub it all over his body and sit in the sun and just cook. And I told him that was crazy. Don't do that. Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So now he's got these little speckle things all over his body. He doesn't have cancer. I've taken him in several times to check him for skin cancer. But he's got these weird spots all over his body. And that's not fun. They're sunspots. Basically, it's pigments, right? Anyway, yeah, don't kill yourself over silly things like that. Cooking in the sun with oils all over you, if you're frying yourself. Or putting sunscreen on you where you block out the ultraviolet rays. You need those ultraviolet rays. Unless you want to have gum decay, lose all your teeth, and your bone, get brittle bone disease, osteoporosis, and have bladder infections one after the other. No. You don't want these things. You don't have brain fog. You want to have brain fog? No. So get your vitamin D. Get your supplements. Now, for vegans, you can get some vitamin D supplements in your food. If you're doing cereal or if you have like almond milk, there's things you can get vitamin D. They also have vitamin D drops for vegans. Okay? You can get that at the health food stores. You can get tofu that is fortified with vitamin A, D, and several other vitamins that you need. Balance out your body. Good health. Okay? Get all the nutrients. And you can get some of these from some plants, some of the other vitamins. Magnesium is another one you need to work with the vitamin D. But you've got to stay on top of this. That means going and getting a blood draw and finding out what you need. I'm not saying go out and get supplements because they're on the shelf of the store, because you don't know that you need them. And having too much is just as bad, if not worse, than having not enough. So you want to find out, do you need a supplement? You know, what's going on with your body? What is your blood doing? And don't avoid fats. You need some fats. Fats are healthy. They carry things in your bloodstream to your brain that your body needs. It won't work otherwise. You have to have a certain amount of fat. Another thing that you could find with people who have deficiency in vitamin D, a lot of it has to do with being overweight. Right. Because when you're overweight, it's more difficult for the body to produce vitamin D3 from the sun. So that's what I want to get on your case about. And you know why? Because I was diagnosed with totally insufficient vitamin D. I mean, like almost zero. I think my count was 10. Okay? You don't want to be down there. And I was talking to one of my sisters, and people of color have a tendency to have to deal with this. Also, from what I understand from this report here, vitamin D also contributes, deficiency contributes to type 2 diabetes. Look at all these things that we're plagued with in a society, and we're running to the doctor taking all this medication for it. When all we need to do is to check our balance of our vitamins and minerals and let God's creation work the way it's supposed to. We get on these fads and we have all this processed foods and all of this, harvested, commercially harvested and grown food, generically modified stuff, where a lot of the natural things, what's natural? What is wheat? Is wheat really wheat? Or is it something else? How many times have they spliced it? You can't call it generically modified because they didn't go into the genomes and change it, okay? They didn't modify the genome, okay? But they spliced it so many times with so many different plants. It's not wheat. It's a completely different plant. It looks like wheat. They have kernels like wheat. But how does your body read it? Does your body recognize it as wheat? There's so many things in our society we are getting messed over. Don't you allow your household to get messed over. If it was, come out of the dark into the light of knowledge. We've got computers with the information there. There's no excuse for us to be ignorant any longer. God bless you. You know I love you. Bye-bye.